Race 1 at Randwick on Saturday. It's for the 2-year-olds over 1,400 metres, and Reloaded will be the short-priced favourite, and I think he'll get punters off to a great start. Reloaded has been to the races once, scored a big win over 1,200 here at headquarters, running down Disruptor and Discharged. Meets Discharged again in this race, and actually, funny enough, meets him equal at the weights for beating him because Discharged went and won at the midweeks subsequently, whereas Reloaded's been back to the trials, looked terrific in the trial. He's come up with barrier 1. And for a horse which is on track for the Group 1 JJ Atkins in a few weeks' time up there at Brisbane, you'd like to think he'd be too good for these. And I think he will be. Number 5, Reloaded. Number 3, Discharged. Well, he was only a length behind Reloaded when they met at Randwick over 1,200 back on the 25th of April. He's since won a race at the midweeks. He makes his own luck on speed, and I'm sure he'll give you a great sight. The 7, Prince Farwaz, he's a bit of the opposite. He gets back and rattles home. It was a real light catcher at Newcastle last start over the 1,400. Whether or not he can give a horse like Reloaded a head start and beat him, that'll be the query. And number 6, Sea of Life, John O'Shea trained 2-year-old, putting the blinkers on for the first time, and he was ridden aggressively to win a recent trial. His only start at the races was a second behind Erno. That's my thought in the first. Numbers 5, 3, 7, 6. Race 2 at Randwick on Saturday. It's the Tab Highway. This week it's a Class 3 over 1,000 metres, and I think Danny Williams will take out the race with Major Danger. Major Danger was terrific at Hawkesbury, the standalone meeting there, winning a Class 2 over 1,100. Went straight to the front, ran them into the ground, gave nothing else a look in. That was off an 8-week break, so it makes sense here that he's back to 1,000. He's drawn well, so even if he doesn't quite have the speed to run them into the ground, he'll certainly be in the firing line from the word go, and he was so strong through the line at 1,100 that I think he can absorb some pressure here and still be strong at the business end. Number 4, Irish Songs. He's come up with barrier 1 for Kurt Goldman, given a quiet trial into this. You go back through his form last prep. Now, he ran a 5th at Rose Hill, beaten 4 lengths. Now, as it turns out, Zalate, Baller and Reel 'em in Ruby were the first 3 across the line. So that's a strong form reference, I think, for a highway, and I think he's a big smoky first up. Number 3, Lifesaver for Matty Dunn. I've marked him the pick of Matty's 2 horses, but there's not much between them. The other one, Vanazza, obviously a chance, but I just thought Lifesaver trialled really well at Murwillumbah coming into this. And number 6, Bomb Diggity, another horse that trialled particularly well at Goulburn heading into this first up run. My numbers in the highway, 5, 4, 3 and 6. Race 3 at Randwick on Saturday. It's for the 3-year-olds. It's a benchmark 74 over the 2,000 metres, and the Chris Waller trained No Boo is certainly to be a well-supported favourite, and I'm confident he can win. He looked the goods last start, that's for sure. Won by 4 1/4 on the Kenzo track over 1,800, beating stablemate Duchess of Lennox, which is making a good fist of things up in Queensland at the moment. And No Boo obviously on track for a tilt at the Queensland Derby. He'd want to come out and win this and win it well. And apart from perhaps a lack of tempo in the race, I just think he'll be too good for them. Number 6, Frenzied. Well, he's a lightly raced 3-year-old on the up. He's won his last 2 starts. He's by Americane, so we know he'll stay. And it was a big win at Kembla last start. This is a tougher test for sure, but he's certainly got some upside. Number 3, Cariff for the Snowdens. Took on the older horses at Warwick Farm last start. Went out $1.85 favourite. Uncharacteristically led them up and was ended up just nosed out of it by Hartlett. Still a brave effort, and back against the 3-year-olds, ridden a bit more quietly. I'm sure Cariff will be competitive. And I'm putting in number 12 for 4th, Costas. He's come up with barrier 1 this time. He just got outgunned by the older horses at Canterbury last up, but held on well for 3rd behind Wolf. And of course, we'll see Wolf later in the day. My numbers in race 3, 2, 6, 3 and 12. Race 4 at Randwick on Saturday, a benchmark 78 over 2,000 metres. We've got a short-priced favourite here in Wolf, and I think he'll be too good for them. Wolf is a very promising 4-year-old from the Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott Yard. He's had the 4 starts for 3 wins and a second. He really looked the goods at Canterbury last time out in a benchmark 70. That's the time, probably the first time I've been 100% sold on him as a potential top-line stayer of the future. He just did everything right the other day, and he should be able to transfer that form to Saturday at Randwick, that's for sure, and I think he'll be too good for these. Number 14, if there's going to be a danger, I think it'll come from Belfast Bella. You could argue that she was a good thing beaten in the standalone benchmark 78 race at Hawkesbury. Recently, she just found trouble in a slowly run race and rocketed into second late. Down in the weights, Robbie Dolan. She's certainly capable of causing an upset if Wolf doesn't perform. Number 2, Dr. Drill for the Mara and Eustace stable, former import. I think getting out to the 2,000 may bring the best in him. And number 1, He Excels, definitely third up out to 2,000 makes sense, and he's coming through some strong Victorian form races. My numbers in race 4, 4, 14, 2 and 1. Race 5 at Randwick on Saturday, a benchmark 78 over the 1,500 metres, and number 1, Quackerjack, should lead all the way if things go to plan. Quackerjack last start out ran third in the Hawkesbury Guineas behind Military Zone and Trope. Strong form for a benchmark 78. Even though he's drawn out a bit here, I can't see a lot of speed drawn underneath him. I think Josh Parr will be positive out of the gate. Send Quackerjack forward, a bit like when they paired up first up this preparation to win a benchmark 78 on the Kensington track. Quackerjack's only up 1.5 kilos off that win, and I think he's going as well, if not better now, third up into his preparation. So number 1, Quackerjack, looks a good bet in race 5. Number 5, Colding, he's the big danger. He's in form. He's won his last 2 over shorter trips. Drawn barrier 1, looks to box seed up to the 1,500. He'll be very hard to hold out. Number 2, Paulita, an interesting mare from the Mara and Eustace stable. She's an import. She's had a couple of trials. Her last trial at Warwick Farm, bounced out, led, kicked strongly through the line. So keep her safe. Watch the betting moves with her. And number 10, Nico Ladd. He's been racing without luck. He's now had 10 starts for 2 wins and 7 placings. So if you are playing the trifecta or first 4, he almost has to go into it. My numbers in race 5, 1, 5, 2 and 10. Race 6 at Randwick on Saturday for the fillies and mares. It's a benchmark 78 over the 1,200 metres. It's also the first leg of the quaddie. My quaddie numbers can be found at the end of this spiel. But here I'm tipping Zonk, who I think will be first out, hopefully first home. Zonk's got the 3 kilos off for Chris Williams. She drops back to mare's grade after beating the boys first up on the Kenzo track, and she beat them well. She had 2 lengths up her sleeve on the line, beating Capperjack. She ran time at both ends, and from a soft gate here, I think she can bounce out and lead them a merry dance in the 6th. Number 4, Ready to Profit. That was a big win first up in the Denise's Joy at Scone, a listed race. She sat wide, she savaged the line. She was big odds, but she certainly defied the market with a game and tough victory. She can go on with the job, you would think, here. Number 3, Gongs, had no luck in the same race, the Denise's Joy. She's worth another chance. She's Group 2 placed, and she's certainly up to a benchmark 78 against the mares, fillies and mares. And number 15, if you are playing the multis here, Gododin, coming off a much easier win in the midweeks, a benchmark 70 at Canterbury. But I like the way she went about her business there, and she's obviously come back a bit tougher this campaign. My numbers in race 6, 1, 4, 3 and 15. Good luck if you're playing the quaddie at Randwick on Saturday. Certainly some open races, a bit of value floating around. These are my quaddie numbers. First leg, 1, 4, 3 and 15. Second leg, 1, 11, 10, 13 and 4. Third leg, 4 and 15. Final leg, 13, 7, 4, 22 and 9. There are 200 combinations in that quaddie, so use the tab Flexi betting option to suit your budget, and good luck with your Randwick quaddie on Saturday. Race 7 at Randwick on Saturday. It's an open handicap over 1,400 metres, and I'm looking for a bit of value with the class run of the field here. Number 1, Noir. Trained by Chris Wallace, Sam Weatherly rides and takes 1.5 kilos off. Now this mare's coming into this race fresh. She hasn't raced since late March. She had a trial at Rose Hill, which I really liked. It was a strong trial behind Desert Lord, who won so well last week. She's a mare who's gone around in 3 Group 1 races, and she hasn't been far away in any of them. She's a Group 2 winner, 2-time Group 2 place getter. She's only got 58.5 here, barrier 1, and I just think the market's totally overlooked her. I'm not going to overlook her. I think she'll run a big race, and she loves good tracks. 5 of her 7 wins have come on good ground. Number 11, Renewal, the big danger off that booming win on the Kensington track last time out. He's creeping up in grade, but he's still down in the weights. He's slightly awkwardly drawn, so a couple of minor knocks on him, but he's going too well not to put in the first couple. Number 10, Mahalunga, stablemate to Renewal. He's got the perfect gate here, just maps to trail the speed. He's 2 from 2 at Randwick, and he wasn't far off them in the Luskin Star, behind Trekking a Brave Song last start. And number 13 goes into the mix here, Organza. She's got a tricky gate, but she was a close-up third in the Dark Jewel resuming, and she has terrific second-up figures. My numbers in race 7, 1, 11, 10 and 13. Race 8 at Randwick on Saturday. It's an open handicap over 1,100 metres, and it sees Cradle Mountain return to the races, and I'm happy to put him on top. He's got great first-up figures, 4 starts for 3 wins and a second. Jason Collett, his regular jockey aboard. He looked great in a recent trial here at Randwick, and the knock I find here is probably the map. There does look a lot of speed, a lot of pressure in the race Whether he can absorb that pressure first up and still find something at the business end, that will be the little query, but I'm happy to back him. He's a horse who I've got a big opinion of, and he does look well placed here first up. The obvious danger is the 15 Deprive, which was a late scratching last Saturday at Rose Hill when he mucked up behind the gates. Now, he's 2 from 2 at Randwick. He's found a race where there's a lot of speed up front, and this could actually be a better option for him than last Saturday. So Deprive, for me, the big danger, and I have got him pegged as a potential stakes grade horse. Number 9, She Knows. She's ridiculous odds here. She's had 6 starts at Randwick for 3 wins and 3 seconds. She's got barrier 3 kilos off for Brock Ryan, and she had no luck first up at Scone in the Hortensia. Can't believe she's the price she is, and I'm definitely taking her in all of my multiples. And number 1, Batty Oz. He's a tough campaigner. He's drawn well for Sam Clipperton, and I think he'll be fighting at the finish. My numbers in race 8, 4, 15, 9 and 1. Race 9 at Randwick on Saturday, the lucky last, a benchmark 78 over 1,000 metres. Big field, lots of speed. They'll be coming from everywhere late here. And I'm actually tipping a back marker over the 1,000 metres in Argent d'Or. We're getting good price about this 5-year-old. He was terrific first up. It was here over 1,000. He was last on the turn. He got within a neck of the winner, Goldfinch, and another 2 strides he wins the race. Hopefully he can just keep them close enough within range here with all the speed up front. If they happen to feel the pinch late, you just know that Argent d'Or will be rocketing home, and I'm happy to gamble on him at the good odds. Number 13 to win the last. And number 7, Taniko. She'll probably have to get back off her wide draw, but she's got outstanding fresh figures. Couple of trials to get her ready for this. Watch out for her late. Along with the stablemate, number 4, Revenue. He's also drawn right off the track. He comes through the Brook Magic race first up at Kensington, where he was doing his best work late. And if Timmy Clark can get on the right back coming at the top of the straight, Revenue's another one that they'll struggle to hold out. And another back marker here, number 22, November Man. He's been flying home of late over the 1,000 metre journeys. And yet again, if Christian Reith can find the right run through on him, I think November Man should be right in the mix. It's one of those races you're going to need a bit of luck. They're going to be coming from everywhere. My numbers, 13, 7, 4 and 22.